Both Sam Howell III and Spencer Rattler have not had the 2021 seasons they had anticipated when spring ball and fall camp took place earlier this year. Back in August, Howell III, decent value pick at Heisman odds, 15-1. Rattler was the betting favorite, plus 550. Fast forward to today, UNC quarterback a whopping 200-1. The now benched OU quarterback not even on the board, Caleb Williams at 41. Speaking of boards, everyone chasing Kayvon Thibodeau in this list. It's Bryce Young in the Heisman list in Ryan Wilson's latest mock. He does have a quarterback here in the top 10, but it's Ole Miss's Matt Corral going to the football team at 9. The question now is for both Sam Howell III and Spencer Rattler is, should I stay or should I go? Let's bring in our draft analyst, Ryan Wilson, with should I stay or should I go, meaning return, transfer, maybe go pro. So we talked about the quarterbacks here. They're among the list here of top quarterbacks in contention. With these decisions, Ryan, how do you assess and break it all down?
It's crazy, Tommy, that we're having conversations. You just talked about it with Sam Howell and Spencer Rattler, guys that 3 months ago were considered to be possibly number 1 and number 2, the front runners for the Heisman. And here we are. Spencer Rattler's not even playing, and Sam Howell is not playing great. And look, here's the takeaway for Sam Howell with me. I think he should return, and here's why. He lost 4 playmakers last year, all of whom ended up on NFL rosters this year, and all of whom are having some success there. Sam Howell cannot carry a team by himself. And if you want him to do that at the NFL level, he has yet to show that. Go back to UNC, fix the offensive line, continue to lean on your playmakers like Josh Downs, who's making plays this year, and then show NFL teams that you're capable of being a first-round talent. He could still get drafted, Tommy. I don't think he should be a first-round pick, but that's how these things work. Thanks to Spencer Rattler, you got to transfer him, man. You can't come back. You got to play last week when Caleb Williams struggled. But Caleb Williams is a true freshman. He is going to struggle. You got to transfer somewhere else, prove that you can be a good teammate, and then prove to NFL teams that you can play much better than what we saw in the handful of games that you were on the field this year that forced Lincoln Riley to put you on the bench. Because if you can't have success at Oklahoma with the way they bring those quarterbacks through and put them in the NFL, there's some huge questions about how that'll translate. So go back, make yourself better. Carson Strong, the only issue with Carson Strong, Tommy, is his knee. I know some NFL teams are concerned about that knee. If his knee is 100%, go. There's no reason to stay. There's no reason to risk further injury. Go out, join the NFL, and ball out. But that knee is going to be a huge concern as we go through this pre-draft process, especially at the Combine, Tommy. Finally, Keaton Slovis, he needs to come back. Remember, 3 years ago when he replaced JT Daniels, we were like, oh, this guy is legit. True freshman, 30 touchdowns. Now he reminds me more of Matt Barkley, and that's not a slight. It's just that he's not going to be a first-round pick. So he might want to return. He may have to transfer. They have Jackson Dart, who's probably going to get some playing time as a true freshman. Going into next year, he'll probably be the starter as well. Keaton Slovis, transfer. Do like we do with Spencer Rattler. Reprove yourself and then come out in 2023.
All right, so we've got 5 quarterbacks that we've talked about, or 4 in-depth at the very least. We only have 1 receiver, Jameson Williams. What's the play here in your eyes?
He's coming out, my man. I mean, look, he played in 10 games for Ohio State over 2 years and had 15 catches. He's played 10 games this year, Tommy, and what does he have? He has 51 catches, 1,028 yards receiving, and you can see there 10 touchdowns, averaging over 102 yards a game. He is balling out. It is hysterical that you have to leave Ohio State and transfer to Alabama to get playing time, but that's how it works at Ohio State in terms of being a receiver there. I know some teams actually like the Ohio State guys, Olave and Garrett Wilson, a little better than Jameson Williams, but what he's been able to do over the course of one season is truly impressive. Come out, make your money, and then take your game to the next level.
How about a lineman here, the nickname Icky? We're talking about Ikem Ekonwu. What's the decision, thought process, or maybe the advice you'd be giving him here?
I don't, and I've had teams push back and say, you guys in the meeting need to quit talking up these juniors and tell them to come out, because sometimes they don't need to come out. They're not ready, and they read the clippings, as the saying goes. Ekonwu is different. He is ready, and he is every bit ready. He is a grown man. He made the Athletics' Bruce Feldman's freak list before the season, and you watch him play, and it's pretty easy to see why. He moves so smoothly for a guy that size. There were some conversations about he has to play guard at the next level. I was talking to a team about that, like, no, he's a left tackle, because I watched him play left tackle for NC State this season, and he was just pancaking fools, Tommy. So, yeah, come out, Ekonwu, you do your thing, and take your game to the NFL. There's nothing left for you to accomplish at NC State. Apologies to Will Brinson, but that team ain't winning the national title. Nothing to hang around for.
just based on the eye test, doesn't look like a Mekhi Becton type of player to everything you pointed out physically there. Nothing left for him to do in the college game. Let's end with a couple of linebackers, Nicoley Dean and Christian Harris.
Yeah, Nicoley Dean is a fun story. So I just found this out. He's a mechanical engineering major, incredibly smart, team leader. He does everything on that defense that you want him to do in terms of leadership, and he's also a human missile. He is just destroying people, and yes, he plays on a great defense, but he is the leader of that defense, and he's a huge part of why they're so successful and why so many guys on that side of the field are going to get drafted. He feels like this modern-day linebacker we've seen the last 3 or 4 or 5 years come out, Tommy, in terms of sideline-to-sideline ability to break up plays in the backfield, ability to make plays in pass coverage, and that is the type of player he is. Christian Harris, on the other hand, he may want to think about coming back, and I only say this because every summer we convince ourselves that the next Alabama linebacker is going to be the next Alabama linebacker to have success in the NFL. We haven't seen it in recent years. Dylan Moses last year when undrafted, he was injured, so that's not entirely his fault. Mack Wilson before him didn't quite live up to the hype. He ended up being a day 3 guy, and he's a part-time player for the Browns. You have to go back to Rashaan Evans, who's actually playing at a really high level for the Titans, to get an idea of what we would think about when we think about these Alabama linebackers, at least in recent years. Christian Harris hasn't quite lived up to that hype yet, but that doesn't mean he can't. He's just not there yet. He's not a first-round talent in my eyes. He very well may still come out and be a day 2 guy, Tommy, but I would think about coming back if you wanted to sort of take that Nicoley Dean path to the NFL a year from now.
Very good. Check out the mock draft, CBSSports.com. Ryan, certainly appreciated. Also, the Super Friend and the Pick Six podcast with John Breach and host Will Brinson. Talking about Thursday Night Football. New England beating up Matt Ryan, blanking Atlanta, getting their 5th consecutive win. Download and follow the Pick Six podcast today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.